skydiving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's having a good day so far today. So things are starting to look a little bit different, even for me. So awesome. Also, if it looks like my camera is like choppy or something, can you guys let me know? I would appreciate that. All right, let's get started. All right, if you are here, please say hello and let me know that you're here. Say hi, give me a thumbs up. Whether you're watching the actual live or the rewatch, please feel free to say hi. We appreciate that stuff. So, all right. So we're going to read out of ODAT first today. I'm going live on a different platform, on my new page. It looks a little different. I don't know that you can comment and stuff there. I'm kind of concerned about that. So, but let's go ahead and get started. We're at the 2-minute mark already. So if people were going to show up, they would have. What do we say to a person who has slipped or one who calls for help? We can carry the message. If they are willing to listen, we can share our experience, strength, and hope. Perhaps the most important thing we can do, however, is to tell the person that we love him or her, that we're truly happy he or she is back, and that we want to help all we can. And we must mean it. Can I still go to school and continue to learn from the mistakes and adversities of others? Actually, we read something out of step 1 yesterday that I think at least part of it covers it, and I think would be a good fit for this. And they were talking about raising the bottom. I've almost got it, I promise. Of course, okay. I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking for it. So, essentially, what I was saying is, even while we're in new to the program, we can work with other people. We can still 12-step. Let's say you got a week of sobriety, man. You can help that new person coming in, right? The other thing that I kind of wanted to cover on that was, if you have somebody, maybe you got a chronic slipper in your group or a tapering off person in your group. I don't know why I put the tapering off in quotes. It works for some people. Essentially, when you're dealing with somebody that's coming in and out a lot, sooner or later, somebody's going to have to put their foot down. No, we do not shoot our wounded. Okay. And yes, letting them know that you love them and that you care for them and that they're back, that's great stuff. It is. People need to hear that. Okay. I need to hear that. But how much, when's enough? Because it was obvious that I was willing because I kept coming back, right? It's just that I wasn't staying sober in between the meetings. And it wasn't until somebody came up to me and kind of put their foot down and said, Dion, is enough? Are you done? We love you. I'm kind of getting tired of you coming in and out. We need you to start doing some work. But that's when I really felt like people want out. See, when we do the, I'm glad you're back. We love you. Everybody kind of gets that. But that's the thing is that's what that person is looking for. So you got to stop feeding him that stuff. And it's hard to do, to find the balance in there to be able to help that person. Okay. But you can ruin somebody else's drinking career. It is our job to do that. Okay? Even if I'm working with a person that is not willing, I'm going to put information in their head, and they are not going to be able to comfortably drink anymore. Let's get to the daily reflection. A lifetime process. We were having trouble with personal relationships. We couldn't control our emotional natures. We were a prey to misery and depression. We couldn't make a living. We had a feeling of uselessness. We were full of fear. We were unhappy. We couldn't seem to be of real help to other people. That's in the Big Book, page 52. '52 is in We Agnostics. But in most fields, our generation has witnessed complete liberation of our thinking. Show any longshoreman a Sunday supplement describing a proposal to explore the moon by means of a rocket, and he will say, I bet they do it, maybe not so long either. Is not our age characterized by the ease with which we discard old ideas for new, by the complete readiness with which we throw away the theory or gadget which does not work for something new which does? What's funny is right here, he's actually predicting the future, because we became more and more like this. We live in what I like to call the microwave age. So in other words, we want everything on instant minute. We had to ask ourselves why we shouldn't apply to our human problems the same readiness to change our point of view. We were having trouble with personal relationships. We could not control our emotional natures. We were prey to misery and depression. We couldn't make a living. We had a feeling of uselessness. We were full of fear. We were unhappy. We couldn't seem to be of real help to other people. Was not our basic solution of these bedevilments more important than whether we should see newsreels of lunar flight? Of course it was. When we saw others solve their problems by simple reliance upon the spirit of the universe, we had to stop doubting the power of God. Our ideas did not work, but the God idea did. See, all of my best thinking got me here. And I'm gonna do a lot of thinking. I'm an idea guy. I know millions of ways to drink like a normal person, and none of them worked. I knew none of them would work. I knew none of them would succeed. How could they? See, somebody had done something when I was early in my drinking career. They ruined it. And that's what got me here. For a long time, I was pissed at them for that. How dare you control my life? Wham! I'm skipping a paragraph. Logic is great stuff. We liked it. We still like it. It is not by chance we were given the power to reason, to examine the evidence of our senses, and to draw conclusions. That is one of man's magnificent attributes. We agnostically inclined would not feel satisfied with a proposal which does not lend itself to a reasonable approach and interpretation. Hence, we are at pains to tell why we think our present faith is reasonable, why we think it more sane and logical to believe than not to believe, why we say our former thinking was soft and mushy when we threw up our hands in doubt and said, we don't know. Man, the first honest thing we say in the program, I don't know. When we became alcoholics crushed by self-imposed crisis, That means that we did it to ourselves. I'm not saying other people may not have put their fingers in it, but we did it to ourselves. We cannot postpone or evade. We had to fearlessly face the proposition that God either is everything or is everything or else he is nothing. God either is or he isn't. What was our choice to be? Okay. You're either pregnant or you're not. You can't do both. That's why I have a hard time grasping the tapering concept. Arrived at this point, we were squarely confronted with the question of faith. We could not duck the issue. Some of us already walked far over the bridge of reason towards the desired shore of faith. The outlines and the promise of the new land had brought luster to tired eyes and fresh courage to flagging spirits. Friendly hands had stretched out in welcome. We were grateful that reason had brought us so far, but somehow we couldn't quite step ashore. Perhaps we had been leaning too heavily on reason that last mile, and we did not like to lose our support. A good point. We're depending on reason and our logic and stuff, and it's still gotten us to the point where we're at, which is now in the program, right? But we have to stop relying on it. It's, logic and reason is good stuff. And at one point we're going to be able to utilize our brains again, but not yet, not in this part of the book, right? We have some things that we need to clear up in the head first so that we can make good decisions. Just making sure it wasn't going to keep going off. These words remind me that I have more problems than alcohol, that alcohol is only a symptom of my more pervasive disease. When I stopped drinking, I began a lifetime process of recovery from unruly emotions, painful relationships, and unmanageable situations. This process is too much for most of us without help from a higher power and our friends in the fellowship. When I began working the steps of the AA program, many of these tangled threads unraveled, and little by little, the most broken places of my life straightened out. So we take care of ourselves spiritually first, okay? And then everything else will fall into place. When I began working, one day at a time, almost imperceptibly, I healed. Like a thermostat being turned down, my fears diminished. I began to experience moments of contentment. My emotions became less volatile. I am now once again a part of the human family. Just kind of rereading that. So we come in and we start to get some things together. We put some days in a row together, and our family and friends are starting to see this. We're growing some. The grass starts to become green again, right? You can start smelling again. Isn't that weird? How your eyesight's literally going to change. And you may not even notice for a little bit. One day you're going to turn around and go, wow, I get it now. This is why they said, stick around and wait for the miracle to happen. Right? All right, guys, I'll be back for the daily reflection tomorrow. In the meantime, peace out. Love you guys and have a day.